We're going to take a look at Canine Journal today. That's my dog, Georgie. She loves playing fetch. We're going to take a look at a couple cool areas on Canine Journal. Of course, we'll look at a review, but we're also going to take a close look at their homepage, their disclosure page, their about page, and their team about page. So it's a little bit more in-depth than some other sites, but I think you'll find it super interesting. By the way, if you're new to the channel, have a look around, and if you like what you see, please consider subscribing. Right away, we're going to take a look at their SEM Rush estimated traffic. So let's go. This site has been around since 2007. So it's been around for a while, and when we're looking at the homepage, we can kind of tell it because it just looks a little bit like an older style theme, but it still, does the job. So they have a nice sort of logo here. There's a dog on there. They have a tagline. A reasonable menu. There may be a few extra things on there, but with a site this old, with this much content, it's kind of expected. Now, before we go on too far, I want to show you SEM Rush. So I mentioned this in a couple other videos, but SEM Rush is a really great tool to get an idea about the estimated traffic for a site. So this is one thing on it, and I'll mention again. We're going to take a look at the estimated traffic. We're going to take a look at the homepage, their disclosure page, which is really spot on, as well as the about and the team page. Now, we'll take a look at one review, but I'll also do an additional review on a separate video. So if you're interested in seeing more, be sure to check that out. I'll place a link so you can find it easily, but I don't want this review to be 2.5 hours long. So now we're looking at SEM Rush. I'll put a link below in the description, an affiliate link. If you use it, I'll get a commission. I'd appreciate it, but it's no big deal if you don't use it. SEM Rush will give you, I think, at least at the time that I'm recording this, they usually have some sort of a trial period. Sometimes it's 7 days, sometimes it's longer, but I think you'll be able to at least check it out if you want to get some of these details. So number one, SEM Rush gives you a few cool things. So they estimate the organic search traffic. They do this because they understand what keywords the site's ranking for, and through that, they can make some estimate. Now, the thing is, this number is almost always low, so it says 245,000. The sites rank for many other long-tail keywords that SEM Rush and other tools don't track. So that means it could be, anywhere from half to a third to like 1/6 of the actual traffic that a site's getting. So if I had to guess, I would probably say this site, Canine Journal, is getting probably 500,000 visitors per month or more. And you can see they have quite a few backlinks listed here. Now, the key thing to remember is SEM Rush doesn't actually provide very good backlink analysis. So I would imagine this is probably low. And if you really want to get a good backlink analysis, you need to go to a tool like Ahrefs. I think they're the best out there. And Majestic's very good also. But even without looking at those, it says there are 800 referring domains, which is a lot, right? As we scroll down, we can see the top organic keywords. Now, this is where SEM Rush really shines. So they show us the top 5 here, which it's ranking very highly, all in the top 5 here for huge, massive search terms. Like, they're not even buyers terms. There's just so much volume, and I would expect they're probably ranking really well for the buyers terms also. So I'm going to click on the full report just to look real quick. Obviously, we're not going to be able to see the 150,000 keywords that they're ranking for, but maybe we'll get some idea. And you can see, their traffic has been, growing and growing and growing over time. They've had some ups and they've had some downs, but overall, that's just a mess of traffic, right? I think we could all agree to that. As we scroll down, some of the cool things you can do with SEM Rush. Obviously, we can see the top 100. We can see the position. We can see which URL is ranking, the percentage of traffic for the site overall. You can export that stuff and get it out over to Excel so you can do more data analysis. One of the cool things I like to do here, let's say you're looking for how-to keywords or informational keywords or something like that, you just type in how to and filter on that. And then you'll end up with a bunch of informational keywords. So this is like a magic sort of, well, it's not magic, it's just using a tool to get the information that you need. So if you're wondering how you could find informational topics, this is a great way to do it. How to typically denotes an informational topic. All right, let's look at the homepage again. Remember, check out SEM Rush if you want to do that sort of analysis and stuff. By the way, leave a comment if you want to see more usage of SEM Rush, because I'm only hitting the tip of the iceberg there. So there's so much stuff you could do. All right, when we're looking at the homepage here, I like what they've done, right? I mean, they've been building websites for longer than I have. And there's probably some legacy built in here, which is why there's so much. It just sort of looks like a theme from maybe 5 years ago or something like that, which is not terrible. I mean, it's clean, but there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of little like widget areas. So here's all their social following here, which is interesting that they have 639,000 Google Plus followers there. That's like by far their biggest. You know, nowadays, if you started any kind of pet thing, Instagram is huge. My dog, Georgie, who you saw in the intro here, and she's sleeping next to me, she even has an Instagram following with just about as many followers as they do, which seems crazy. Okay, as we scroll down, they have a slider up here, sort of an older school slider kind of thing. I don't like these so much. Just in general, I saw a few different sort of analyses on sliders, and it was sort of inconclusive if they helped much at all, and it just kind of takes up space. So I usually don't like them, but it looks fine here on this site. Further, they have, it looks like they have a lot of affiliate stuff going on with pet insurance. So pet insurance comparison 2018, who's the best? So this is like their big guide. They're putting it near the top, like on purpose. And then when we see this little banner here, it says pet insurance reviews and awards. So, you know, we're still moving through the homepage here, but don't forget, we are going to take a look at their very excellent disclosure policy. We're going to look at their about page too, which is pretty solid. And then they even have like the team that is working with them. So this is all very interesting, the way that they've laid it out, and it looks super professional overall. Okay, so we have a couple of their big guides here. Dog Toilet 101 and why your dog may need one. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure if that means they're teaching dogs to use the toilet. I have heard of that, and well, I don't know. I may just have to read that article after I finish doing this video. Further, they're building an email list, which is smart, especially since, you know, the site's been around for so long, and they have an ebook, a new dog guide. All you have to do is sign up. I would say from a copywriting perspective, this is a little bit of a weak offer, right? So new dog guide, you would potentially want to see something like learn how to introduce your dog to your home so that your family gets along better, or to minimize stress for your dog in its new home, something like that. You want to maybe kind of give some benefits. So I think they're kind of missing an opportunity here. If they're going to place it here, there's very few folks that are just going to think, hey, new dog guide, I'm going to sign up. Sure, it's a cute puppy and everything, but I mean, there's cute pictures all over this page. All right. Now, as we're scrolling down, we see a sponsored banner here. So it's AdSense or some other network here. So they mention it's sponsored. Now, what is interesting is they do not say that these anything around here is sponsored, but I think actually they probably should here, because these are links. These are affiliate links over to the various insurance companies. Now, when I hover over it, you can clearly see it says affiliate in parentheses, but it's not clear, especially when they're putting sponsored in this section over the ad, but they're not putting sponsored over this link. And if I click it, it goes to Healthy Paws with the affiliate link in here. So minor point on that. And they have such a good disclosure policy that we'll get to that I think is probably okay. Now, as I scroll down, they have some gear on Amazon. So these are affiliate links. They have more links over here to different recent posts that they have. And it's kind of a long homepage. So if it were me, I would probably reduce some of the stuff on here. I would imagine it's rare that someone is just going through reading all of these. Now, it does give them an opportunity to put a bunch of stuff in their sidebar here, which you never know who's going to click. And if you're getting 500,000 people a month, maybe more. I mean, they could be getting like 1 million visitors a month, which is insane, but they could be getting that much traffic. Now, as I scroll down, I mean, the thing is, with that many people, even if you only get a handful, a very small percentage, there's so many people that it may be worthwhile. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to take a look at the disclosure policy. Okay, so before I even go into it, and I'll put a link so that you could take a look at it yourself, because this is long. Let me just scroll down. There's a lot of information here. All right. So they go into some legalese at the bottom, but at the top, they basically say, we get compensation for, our reviews, but it doesn't impact the way that we're doing reviews. It doesn't, doesn't mean that the reviews are biased. They even say, we present our unbiased reviews, which are conducted independently of the affiliate negotiations and the contracts and all that stuff. They're comparing themselves to other competitors, and they adhere to what they put in bold as an internal policy that requires the writers and researchers to research a service before or a product before writing a review or giving an opinion. And I don't know what that means over other people or over the competitors, because they're implying that people are writing reviews without knowing any information at all. Some people may be doing that, but I would say the distinction here doesn't seem to be that strong. What is strong in the disclaimer, though, is they're mentioning, they're citing the affiliate relationship. They're defining it while they're giving an example here, which is really key. They're giving a clear example around like a hosting company, and then they're giving some of the information from the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. So there's a lot of sort of background information. It's a little long, but it's super thorough. And I would imagine, because they're getting so much traffic, they probably had a lawyer look over this material and stuff. So when I pointed out, like, it wasn't super clear that a certain link was an affiliate link, I mean, there's disclosures all over. So I think they're probably okay. It's just, in this section, it's not clear that these are affiliate links, because I could click it before I see that the affiliate link thing pops up there. Okay. Their disclosure page is pretty thorough. I don't think you have to write that much, but if you take a look at this, you get an idea in plain English, like what's going on. Now, next thing I want to show you is the About page. So About Canine Journal. So they have a lot of things that I talk about in my About page teardowns. I'll put a link to it if you haven't seen it. But they have a picture of themselves, right? So that's good. They have a picture of dogs with them, which is key if you're writing about, Canine Journal, right? If you're writing about dog stuff, you should probably have a picture with yourself with dogs. If you recall the hairdryer review site where the person said they searched so much for hair dryers and they have really long hair, yet there's not a picture of the person or a picture of a hairdryer or the hairdryer that they actually selected. Like, there was no credibility behind it. This site, it looks very credible, and wait till you see where they've been featured. It's ridiculous. So they go into a little more detail. They don't make it too long-winded or anything, but they give very clear examples of the dogs that they've had. They give details about it, and it's relatable, right? So I have a border collie. I've had a couple, and I mean, when you attach yourself to a breed, you you see it's very relatable. So by them putting that stuff in, it's like, I know some people who only get yellow labs. I know some people who have, the Rhodesian Ridgeback and stuff like that. So very cool that they're putting in these specific details. So as we scroll down, that's it, right? So it's only a few paragraphs. There's a picture of them, and it looks like it's longer because they have all this stuff in the sidebar. Okay. Now, further, they tell you that you can learn more about the overall site by visiting the team page. So when we go to the team page, they have each one of the writers and editors and stuff on here. Okay, so first thing, they have a dog listed at the top. That's so, for a dog person, that's cool. I like that they did that, and I think that most people who were reading this site and they were interested in, just more who's behind the site and stuff like that, they would think that's great. As we scroll down, we see each of the writers and or editors along with their dogs. And I think every one of them, except for this person at the bottom, has a picture of themselves with a dog, which is cool. Again, huge credibility overall just by having this. So when you put this whole team page together with the just regular about page over here, it's really good, right? I mean, it makes you feel like they're actually reviewing stuff. So even if they don't own all the products or anything like that, you can see that they care about it, and there's a lot of people working. Now, last thing I'm going to show you before we take a look at the review is Canine Journal in the news. So when I looked at the about page, I saw, oh, what press did they have? Now the thing is, they've been around since 2007, so that means they've done some serious networking, and from a backlink perspective, a huge amount of, accomplishment. So they have, I'm not even going to read them out, but just take a look at all these different newspapers. There are multiple there are multiple kinds of like vet and or dog or pet type sites that they've been featured on. So very, very thorough. And the most impressive thing is all of the newspapers that they're getting links from. Really, really amazing. And then they have a note here. If you'd like to quote us for the story or interview us, feel free to contact us and we'll be in touch soon. Now, in sort of an interesting other note, one thing that they mention in the, I thought it was in the about page, but maybe, on the contact us page, just a quick note, they say, we don't accept guest posts. So they were just getting so many emails that they're like, look, we don't accept guest posts. So don't even ask. We'll just ignore the emails. So as we scroll down on this contact page, they just give a little bit more information. So advertising and partnership. So they're not even accepting that kind of stuff. But if you're a merchant, they'll look at affiliate programs and stuff, press and syndication, and so on and so forth. Again, they don't accept guest posts, and they're very clear on that. Now let's look at a review. So I just randomly picked one. This is Best Dog Activity Monitor. So Fit Bark versus Tag versus Whistle versus Link, AKC, and more. So I just thought this maybe was interesting because I thought my dog runs a lot more than I do during our walk. So I wonder how many additional steps, like if we had checked on my Fitbit and then her Fit Bark, what would happen? Now, first thing we notice is we have, how do we keep this site running? This post may contain affiliate links. So they have an affiliate disclosure right at the top. So very clear. One thing I noticed, there's not like a picture of such a device. So one thing like the Wirecutter and other big sites do, a lot of times they'll have a picture, at least a small picture sort of on the top so you can see what these devices look like. I don't even know what this product is exactly or what it looks like. So I would have liked to see that. I bet there's a picture below. Now what I do like is they get to the text and the copy right away. So it like hooks me in, and I'm interested in like a dog Fitbit category, right? So they mention that here. Um, another thing I like is they have the various items, right? The various categories, so easy to use, most accurate, and then track health closely. So this is key, right? So no matter what you're interested in, right away you could go over to Amazon, so you could view it on Amazon, which is an affiliate link, or you could read the review. So it'll bounce down. These are anchors. So if I click on this part, it'll bounce down to the tag pet tracker area. So let's just do it. So boom, there's the tag review. It's a very small mini review. There's a picture of it there. They give you, a little bit of information about it, nothing super thorough. And then they talk about some of the key features. So, that's good. They say it's out of stock, which is, I guess, good to note. And I mean, I believe this would still contain their affiliate link, nevertheless, and they'll be able to, still cookie you. Now, quick note, this is an affiliate link right here, the text. The image, this is not an affiliate link here, okay? So that's not an affiliate link. This is an affiliate link, the out of stock, where the price would be listed. And then they have there's an announcement. They're linking to the Wall Street Journal. So they're just mentioning that. Now I'm going to scroll back up to the top because I got sidetracked by this anchor link. So what are dog monitors? Well, they give you a little definition here just so you kind of know what's going on. They have the best dog activity monitor. So that's a little keyword, subheading. Easiest to use. So this is where it ties in. So easy to use. This is that section here. It is a reasonably sized sort of mini review. It's not very, there's some information, but it's not super thorough. I would imagine you could write a lot more about it than they have. Now, as I'm scrolling down, I do see they have the prices listed here in the text, which is fine, assuming that they are pulling the price from the API. So the Amazon API will give the up-to-date price, and I imagine they're doing that. With a site this size, I imagine they would be able to do. They could be using their own code, or they may have a plugin to do it. So again, they mention out of stock, and then they have the new one listed here. They have a video of the FitBark overview. So they have this, and they've embedded a YouTube video, which is perfectly fine to do. Now, other things to note is they have an in-depth review, which is maybe why it's not super long in this section here. So if you wanted to, you could take a look at the in-depth review. As we scroll down, again, here's the tag mini review that we looked at before. It's interesting that they've left it on here versus like just removing it if it's out of stock and gone since 2015. All right, so as we're scrolling down, they just have more of the same stuff. Each of these are fairly brief. There's very few that have more than a few hundred words. Occasionally there will be a longer review that they link to, but there's not too much of that. Again, they have these, products that are no longer available, so it's kind of weird that they left them in here, other than, just for like legacy's sake, and they'd be able to potentially, still bring in traffic through that. So before we scroll down any further, we're about halfway through the page, and that's it. This is the end of the review. It's fairly brief overall, and the rest are comments. So if we scroll down, we'll start seeing the comments, I believe. Before we do, the last little thing to mention here. So they finish off with an active dog is a happy dog, and then they link out to a few other posts here. Then they have the opt-in section, now the bio section, and then related articles, and now we have the comments. There are 41 comments here, which is pretty impressive. You'll see that they are active in answering the questions here just in general. Kimberly Alt is seeing to it. And there are pretty thorough questions, some nice discussion. Now, it's interesting here, if your review is good and people are passionate and there's actually a community of people out there, you will see a lot of activity in the comments. And not just random, hey, what a great post or anything. They're asking questions. This is adding more content to the site. This is a good thing to have this sort of discussion. So it's great that they have this much in the way of comments. And as we scroll down, we'll see there's just more and more information in the comments here. Okay. Now, question of the day. Question of the day is, what do you like and what do you not like about Canine Journal? I'm interested to hear, what you saw that I missed. I try and go through these fairly quickly, and I know there's tons of information on these. So here's a little bonus thing I'll show you. So if you type in site in the search bar and then the site, you'll see all of the indexed posts or URLs for a site. So there are 761. I'm Doug Cunnington. We'll see you next time on Tuesday Teardowns.